Friends, I can't express how grateful I am for the opportunity because I had no idea. I was not expecting a message from the Hung Vanngo beauty team on my Instagram DMs. And when I saw they sent me a PR request form, I was like, do they have the right person? And if you don't know Hung, well, we'll get into what an incredible makeup artist he is. But if you do watch his YouTube videos, he uses Rephr brushes. And I guess in the dialogue or whoever was responsible for sending out PR, Tom mentioned that he loves my content and if they needed recommendations to check me out. And that's when it made sense. So I'm like, thank you, Tom. So I wanted to thank Hung, Tom, but especially you, everyone, because this is an ecosystem of support because you watch my videos and someone else watches my videos because you watch my videos. Using my affiliate links and just sharing about my content truly means the world. I wouldn't have this opportunity without your support, and happy now that we have PR to see before the release of Hung Vanngo Beauty, scheduled to launch on September 8th on Sephora USA and Sephora Canada. So I'm happy that we can take a peek at what's coming. And look at this huge thing. Look at it. It's my new travel makeup bag. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and I figured this video is a first impressions. We're diving in. We'll take a look at the packaging, the products that the team was so kind to send, and then of course what will emerge from there will probably be comparisons, because this is when you'll ask Alicia, how about this color matches with that, and which we all love, right? So definitely add those comments down below because it will be hard for me to keep track of everything. So thank you, family, in advance in just covering that with the different comparisons that you happened to come up with as well. And if you don't know who Hung is, he is a celebrity makeup artist who started his YouTube channel around 5 years ago. And if you watch his videos, they're calm, they're detailed, and what's enjoyable about them is that, well, Hung is just a doll. But really, I appreciate how he takes us through his entire process, all the way from the skin prep through the final product. And I think it's fantastic to have a professional makeup artist approach to application. I think it is different from a beauty enthusiast like myself. And I love learning from artists because they all have their own unique technique, their own take on how they apply makeup in terms of why they choose the brush that they do and why he likes his product versus another makeup artist liking the same product but for different reasons. I think all that is interesting, and to now have his own line, this is what's exciting because, and also something I would recommend that you do, that you know the artist before you buy anything from the brand, right? Make sure you are familiar with Hung's style, with his techniques, because I think when you understand his technique and his makeup style, it will probably bridge a gap between him and his products and will provide a reason, a context really, in terms of how he formulated his eyeshadows in that way or his bronzers in that way or whatever else gets released from the line. So that's exciting to see. And I also think it enhances the experience of the user, because if you have a better understanding of his philosophy, his makeup philosophy, I think that creates a far stronger connection between the user and his makeup. And it also will reveal maybe it's not going to be something for you. Maybe you enjoy his style and you respect it, but his makeup still doesn't align with your preferences in terms of the colors, the textures, all sorts of reasons, right? But in this video, we're going to get into the products that were sent. I have no idea what was in here. The PR request list just asked what my preferred colors were, and you know what I picked. The terracotta everything. If they had a terracotta option for whatever product was on the list. So we're gonna get into it, and also I'm gonna honor his application style. Hung will probably not be happy with me to learn that I don't have a dedicated skincare regimen, but I do have skincare on standby to apply before foundation because he is serious about the skin prep. He puts on like 3-4 skincare products before he gets onto the foundation step, and he likes to massage and do, so we're gonna do all that. We're gonna do all of that. But look at this bag. And it has like a trolley sleeve, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of like a mini suitcase. You got Hung Vanngo here on there too, because this is the color of the the compacts and everything, that like muted deep orange. So now it's time for you to come in a little closer. Let's put the house pin in. I got my little Guerlain Albel Royale sample here. I got the serum there. We got some face cream. Okay, we're gonna do it. I think it's like a 2-level case. Oh, how fun. So the first part of the case, you have this brush sleeve where you could place brushes on with the Velcro flap. You have a zippered compartment here. Is there anything in here? Let's check just in case. Oh, nice. So the compartment goes all the way down to the brush side, and then you have like this netted compartment here. So that must be for like the flatter items, maybe pencils, cotton rounds, you know, the towel, the mini towel. And the large compartment, hey, we got Hung Vanngo here on another brush Velcro flap with the plastic line inside. You got the elastic loops here. You got another zippered compartment. You got the what are these called? I'm failing with words. But we got this inside. We got what we got inside. Uh-oh. Yay. Yay. After working over 20 years as a makeup artist, it's an honor to share my very first collection with you. Thank you, Hung. I developed each of these pro-level products to enhance natural beauty and make everyone feel confident and seen. I'm so excited for you to experience the products. We are too. Each one is a reflection of my approach to beauty, grounded in color theory, composition, and creativity, all designed to enhance natural beauty. I poured everything I know into this collection, and honestly, I still get excited every time I use these products. I hope you love them just as much as I do. Thank you so much. Ooh, I hope you enjoy the reusable makeup kit as part of your own personal artistry journey. Isn't this fantastic? I love. All right, we got some stuff in here. Oh my gosh. Wow. They really sent me all the palettes. They sent me all the palettes, friends. I guess we're gonna have a video for each. All right, babes, I'm gonna put you here. Very good. What else do we have? Oh, we have 2 compacts here. We have very beautiful velvet blush in 2 shades, Legacy and Possibilities. I also have to make sure I read that insert in case we have any information. We got lipsticks here, 3 lipsticks. Oh, the creamy matte lipstick. Lovely creamy matte. Sign me up. And we have more dividers here in the main compartment. So, you know, this is probably welcome because I need to do another declutter, but happy that I have this so that I could start organizing my makeup here at home. We got the liners here too. 3 liners. Yay. The official name, the Longwear eyeliner, soft velvet kohl eyeliner, and the Accentuating Longwear lip liner. I can't believe they sent me all the palettes. Okay, here we go. Woo! We gotta read. The Color Story eyeshadow palette, Longwear eyeliner, creamy matte lipstick, Accentuating Longwear lip liner, soft kohl velvet eyeliner. Cool. So we got a Longwear and a softer formula, a softer kohl velvet it's called. Very beautiful velvet blush and soft blurring bronzer. I was sent 2 of the very beautiful, cause you know, Legacy Coral Red, Possibilities Burnished Orange. I had to. We don't have a bronzer, but that's fine. I'm happy to purchase one when the entire line releases. I'm grateful that we have something to play with, you know? And this is the packaging. Isn't it lovely? It's like the orange red after filming that red blush video is like every time I see red anything, I just think of that. So in true Hung fashion, we must prep the skin first. And he is all about starting with like an exfoliant or some sort of maybe laser treatment, right? So I think that's an important step, however you have that step for your own routine, right? But he did emphasize the fact that he feels that primer isn't enough, that before primer even hits the face. He's all about the skincare before priming, right? I consider skincare as a primer in it of itself, but you can definitely go in with a separate primer if you like. That was the Guerlain. This is a sample, by the way. And you're like, did you get some Guerlain? I'm like, I did. That's going to be another video though, okay? Going in now with the Prada Augmented Skin. This is my deluxe sample, which I've been loving. This is a gel cream texture, lightweight, and it feels phenomenal on the skin, and I think it's great under foundation. It'll be interesting to see Hung's take on foundation, whether he'll go matte or radiant. Although this is like a new era for foundation, because Natasha Denona just dropped her new foundation, but it wasn't just that. I noticed it's like a Longwear radiant finish, and I feel this is a new era of radiant finishes for multiple products, but longer lasting. It's like an oxymoron, but I think the industry is trying to take on that pairing. Ooh, you see, revived. I did grab a sample of the new Tom Ford Architecture something, the Radiance Foundation. Unfortunately, this is a little too warm for me. It's in honey. I think I'm sable or tawny, so I might have to visit the counter again for a better match. Oh no, I just broke the jar. Too much strength, Alicia. I might have to visit the counter again, but I've just been using it to get an idea of the texture. I like it. It's just that the match is a little off. And you know how I feel about my Givenchy Glow Serum Foundation. That is one of my top picks. And I don't know how I feel about the Tom Ford, but I have to keep using it to form a better opinion about it. But we're gonna try it for the demo, you know what I mean? I don't think Hung would be opposed to applying foundation with fingers, but I do like to apply this foundation in both ways, with fingers and a brush, just so I can have an idea of the texture. It does have fragrance. I mean, it is Tom Ford, but that's not too bad. We're coming together, and I will have to now replace my little jar because I broke it. Concealer, I forget, does he apply concealer directly on? I can't remember, because I think he might actually prep it first on a palette or back of hand. And in true fashion, we gotta use our Rephr brush. I definitely didn't do enough skincare prep, I think, for Hung. Hung will go in with like an exfoliant, a serum, a moisturizer, and he'll also apply SPF on the demo, which I think was interesting. But this is the most I would have done, really. The serum or any type of essence, and then a moisturizer afterwards. A little bit of powder, and I'm just going right under the eyes. Nothing more than that, because I still want to maintain a little bit of just more of a natural finish on the majority of my face. And of course, we gotta do the brows. I expect Hung to release powder, definitely foundation, concealer, brows. And something I noticed about Hung's technique is that it's very light hand in terms of, I enjoy the layering of products in a way that the color intensity is controlled. He demonstrates such a feather-light touch when applying makeup, and I think that's important because you can control the level of coverage and color intensity, and also will lessen the risk of products looking heavy on the skin. And he made a comment too about people expressing a little apprehension with applying a lot of skincare, and that it would interfere with the makeup's longevity and it not look great, like it'll just slip off. And I think if you spend time massaging the face and working the skincare in before applying foundation, and or maybe even applying like a dedicated primer before foundation, the makeup would look fine. And I agree, having like that smooth, cushiony canvas before applying foundation encourages, I just think, a far better looking complexion overall. What do we want to look at first? I know, blush. Okay, let's look at the very beautiful Velvet blush in both Legacy and Possibilities. Wait, I just painted my nails. Let me get my spatula. Ooh, we have a soft matte feel on the compact with Hung Vanngo on the front with the darker red font and color. Ooh, look at what we have here. Made in Italy. 8.5 grams of product, and thank you, Hung, 24 months. Thank you. This is what we have. Kind of is giving, in terms of aesthetic, it reminds me of NARS. I know I just was going over Exhibit A, but the framing of the product in terms of how the pan is nestled in this black frame up against this muted orange red coloring, and here we are. Ooh, that's smooth. Yes. Yes. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Again, that was the Coral Red from Legacy. Possibilities is the burnished orange. Burnished is always interesting because that implies toasty. And you know how I feel about my toasties, okay? Ugh. Look what we have here. This appears to have a little bit of sheen to it. But velvet implies matte. But I think this has a little bit of a sheen, like a pearl. Here's Possibilities. Isn't that pretty? This is... I know we're entering autumn, but these are autumn colors. Okay. What should we apply first? Well, I think I want to go in with Legacy first. A lot goes a long way. I don't know if you could see that trail of my finger swatch, but this is how I went in with the YSL blush. I tapped and then I went in, pounced off the excess, still had plenty on my brush. Nice big mirror, by the way. And I'm gonna just feather on. Here we go. That's some color. My goodness. This is the Rephr holiday brush I think that released last year. Oh, I can't even remember. It's a squirrel goat brush, so this is on the softer side, which I like because an all-exclusive goat brush I think would have picked up a little too much product for my liking. But if you were wondering, this is a little more orange red compared to YSL's Chili Crush. But I love the coloring, definitely matte, or on the matte side. And for Possibilities, same thing. I'm gonna tap off a little bit and then go in on the same. Ooh, this you could detect more of like a milky orange type, like a tangerine application to the face. This would be a fun combination with Legacy higher on the cheekbones, followed by Possibilities lower here, closer to the nose. And I'm just spreading it so we could get a nice delivery of that color. I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of Possibilities. And I'm just looking at the powder because it does have some pearl in the formula compared to Legacy. Legacy, I think, is more of a true matte, but oh my gosh. I'm pouncing off a little bit here from the perimeters of my forehead, but I definitely wanted to see like the more orange leaning colors. While I understand this might not be best for my neutral undertone, I do think it's pretty. It's pretty, especially if I can nail the appropriate matchup with the eye makeup. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Which palette do you want to see? We got Outstanding Orange, which will probably be the one I should apply on my eyes. Generous Green and Yellow. Brilliant Blue, Rebellious Red and Pink. Composed Cool. Passionate Purple. New Neutral and Wonderful Warm. Let's see the orange one because that might be the one to go with, right? Just by default. Same soft matte packaging in this muted red orange hue, and again made in Italy. 12 months suggested shelf life. We have 8 shadows in all, and as you can see, these palettes are arranged by color, like color stories, so not so much. Well, they're all monochromatic, right? So you can definitely choose the one. Ooh, this is pretty. It looks more muted in person. I think my camera is just naturally bumping up the saturation a little bit. But here, let's take a look at a few of these. next to already. Ooh, that's smooth. I like that. That's like more of a pumpkin. This is more of like a toastier, say it with me now, terracotta. That's definitely going on the eyes, 100%. Oh, but look at this shiny guy here. That has, you can see that's like a melted, like metallic consistency. Beautiful shine here. Ooh, that's like a rose gold. Underneath appears to be like a more chill shimmer finish, because this one here is like more of like a metallic. That's nice. It's almost like a duochrome, like that sunset pink to gold shift. We have another kind of more brown, burnt orange brown matte. Yes, that's maybe like more of a coral. Underneath we have again a softer shimmer finish, more of like a gold copper shade. This is a pink shimmer too. And underneath we have like this creamsicle beige. So this is the orange. This is what we're gonna do. But I'll quickly show you the other palettes here. Got Generous Green, Brilliant Blue, Rebellious Red and Pink, Compose Cool, Wonderful Warm. Wonderful Warm actually is pretty neutral, which I'm interested to see now what the new neutral looks like. New neutral is more on like, I think, overall cool side, like a cool neutral. It's a nice balance. So here is Wonderful Warm and then new neutral side by side. And lastly, Passionate Purple. I wanted to quickly cover the liners and the lipstick swatches before we get into the eyeshadow. First, we have the Accentuating Longwear Lip Liner in Perfect the Edge. This is made in Korea and has 12 months suggested shelf life. And similar to what we've seen already, is kind of like a soft matte plastic feel. Lightweight, and it's a dial-up. So you have the dial-up mechanism here at the base of the pencil. So this is not to be sharpened. Sorry, I'm using my left hand. Ooh, that's pretty. Let me grab the catalog again. Perfect the Edge is a warm pink brown. Next, we have the Soft Velvet Kohl Liner. This one is made in Italy. 12 months suggested shelf life. And we are looking at a creamy wood pencil that's easy to smoke out, blend, or soften. It comes in 3 classic shades. I have here Taupe, and they also have brown and fashion black, but I thought Taupe would have been interesting. And this is an actual pencil that you'll need to sharpen, because I thought having like, yes, just something softer to wear on the daily. And let's feel this texture. Oh, that's nice. Easy to blend out. So that's the Soft Kohl Velvet. But next and last, we have the Longwear eyeliner. In-depth development to deliver the highest pigmentation possible in the liner. I have here Soften the Edge, which is the brown. But he has Soften the Edge, Tied Together, Warm Brown. Use your own judgment, Neutral Brown. So you have different varieties of browns here. And like the lip liner, this is a dial-up as well. Ooh, yes. So this will be a more appropriate formula to line. Waterline is a Longwear formula. I'm sure you can diffuse it, but you'll have to work fast before it sets. And lastly, we have the creamy matte lipsticks. First up, well, let's just go with the Vanngo Red, well, shall we? Vivid Orange Red, and this is definitely representative of the brand's color. You have the logo here, top of cap, this soft matte material, and it is a magnetic closure. Hung Vanngo here on the bottom of the bullet. Black inside, and my goodness, look at that curve. Ooh, and look at the Hung Vanngo logo on the bullet. That's pretty. I'm gonna do the other side of the lipstick. Whoa, very much can be for fall. Award winner is a Rich Berry, and I am in my lipstick era. Okay, so yes, 100% yes. We shall see. Oh, that's pretty. And lastly, we have Wild Rose, which is a light vivid rose. Nice. I think this will look beautiful with probably the liner that I have. And I'm looking at the medium peach brown, light peach brown. So when these are in Sephora, I'll probably pick up one of the nudes. You could either read this as spring or autumn, but I think this could be autumn friendly for sure. Are we ready for this eye look to commence? I think so. I'm gonna start off with some primer, and I'm thinking, how can we utilize these liners? Well, I'm thinking to probably just line the lash, but we're definitely going in with this color first. This was like the terracotta. Using one of my Rephr shoulder brushes because it's very wispy, and to stay in control of this color payoff. The powder is quite soft, so just be careful with how much you pick up on the brush, because if you don't want so much on the first application, you definitely have to tap off, but my goodness. And let's see this shade here. This was the lighter kind of corally orange, using the same brush and just feathering the edges here. Now this is the deepest color in the orange palette. If you wanted to go in with like a brown, I would assume you have to go into the Wonderful Warm or Neutral palette, following up with the respective shadow from either side on the lower lash line, following up with like this color here. I have the swatches still here, so following up with this more what would I call this? I want to say creamsicle, but it's like a medium creamsicle on the inner part of my eye, and this orangey beige now on this part of the inner corner, or inner lid, I should say. Definitely want to see this metallic in action. Which side do I want to go on? I think let's go on. Ooh, this has really nice grip. I think ideal to pick up and apply with a finger, just so you can really press those pigments into the skin. But that has really nice shine. But make sure you don't pick up too much, because I think it can look textured, since this is not meant to overload the lid. I think you just have to be conservative with how much shadow you pick up. If you want more of like a sheer wash, then I would probably go in with the shader brush instead, just so you could control the level of application, because this will be a lot lighter, I think, on the lay down. And on the other side, let's go in with this more like goldy copper shade on the inner corner, and you can see this has a softer play on the lid and on the effect of the lid. This is going to be more of like a shimmer versus a high shine metallic. I'm following up with the finger, so I can have a more even lay down of color. This shade here, let me see here. This was the weakest shade out of the bunch. It's like a soft shimmer base with pearl, but it doesn't have the same pow impact as the metallic here earlier in the row, nor does it have the same impact, I feel, as this shimmer here. This is a little on the powdery side. The shimmers, in my opinion, could have better adherence, because this is looking a little uneven. The shine is there, but it's not latching on the way I would like. Maybe it's because I have the matte under there, but trying a shader application and tapping. But that's my only critique. I like the metallic. I'm not crazy about the shimmer. I like the mattes though. The mattes are moving nice on the lid. Smaller brush with this more rose gold, but applying that on the inner corner. Now I'm just using the orange palette. I'm not entirely sure how the shimmers, like let's say in Wonderful Warm, behave. So based off what I see here, this feels like it has better adherence. It has a little more stick, and these mimic what I already have on this eye. So that has like the more grippy metallic texture. So you see, you'll have to dip out if you wanted a little more depth, and because I have Wonderful Warm here, you're a little too far. My apologies. I'm just lightly dusting here in a tapping fashion to get the haze going, for it to not blow out of proportion. I like to use these whisking motions because I think that helps the shadow lay down smoothly and evenly and lessens the risk of it looking splotchy in the end. And a little here on the very edges of the lower lash line. I want to go in with this pencil. I want to first go in with Taupe, and this is the soft velvet, and see the diffusing quality about it. So it's not going to have the same depth of color obviously as the brown, but I'm just actually going to use my finger to kind of spread it. Now these are soft for sure, and they blend with a soft finger tap, so if you just wanted to quickly diffuse the edges without necessarily reaching for a brush, you could definitely accomplish that. They're not as soft as the VBB. Those are like slick soft. So if you were frustrated with that type of texture where you couldn't diffuse right away and you rather do that, this has a little more creaminess, a little more grab to it, so you could follow up straight with the finger sweep. And now with soften the edge, we can see soften the edge in action. On this side, I typically don't waterline, so that's why I'm going straight to the lash line here, and I'm definitely following up with a brush. The Longwear texture is nice, it's smooth, it lays down evenly, and there's enough playtime for you to move the product if you wish to. Yes, if you're not one to just go in with the waterline technique and you need a little bit of moving time, but I like that. I like the color too. The brown reminds me of Prada Liner's Wood, where this is a little more leaning towards an espresso brown, but I want a little more definition on this side, so I'm actually layering the Longwear on top of the soft velvet, so we can have like a fun gradient going on. This will appear more diffused than our first eye, because this is like the designated wing liner finish, and this is more of like a softened brushed finish for the liner. I want to check out Perfect the Edge. Ooh, I like it. I like it. It's my everyday. I'm using my finger just to softly diffuse the edges. Ooh, that's pretty. And I think I'll follow up with Wild Rose. Why not? Oh, that's creamy. That's creamy. It's a little too pink for me and for this look, but fine. I'm just using the liner to kind of help anchor the color a little bit. The liner is smooth on the application. Color delivery is definitely there. And this is an interesting texture for the lipstick. It's a creamy matte. So it doesn't have the same shine as a satin, but it doesn't have the same like soft matte feel as a typical matte lipstick does. All right, let's apply some lashes and I'll be right back. Here are the close-up shots of our final look, first impressions of Hung Vanngo Beauty. Again, a huge thank you to the team for this opportunity, but I wanted to quickly go over everything I tried on today in this video. Starting with the blushes, you can see we got a lot of coloring going on, and from the entire line, I would have liked to see more of like a brown based blush as well, because you know how I feel about like my earthy tones, and something with a little more of like a muted feel I think I would have grabbed for every day. If not Possibilities and Legacy, I would have probably went in with maybe Born from Beauty, which is the light peach, or Second Language, Rose Pink. And my apologies for not reading when applying the blush. Cashmere inspired powder melts into skin with a blurring cloud matte finish. So you do have that diffusing finish on the skin. Hopefully you were able to see it on the close-ups. It has a nice texture to it, and I think it moves well with a variety of blushes, but you saw that Legacy packs a punch, right? And you probably would expect something similar from the other shades, or maybe not. I think this one in particular, a little goes a long way, and as the description reads, that cashmere-like flow on the skin, I think helps a user who's not familiar with blush or is not quite comfortable with blush will have a fairly easy time applying this texture on the skin. And who knows if Hung will release different finishes in the blush lineup, be it more satin or demi matte, right? We never know. And come to think of it too, I'm saying brown based because of how I view myself on the screen right now. In person, Possibilities is a pretty color for like an everyday hue. It looks quite orange on camera, and it might look quite orange on the video, but this is probably going to be one of the more earthier options from the lineup for you. So if you're my skin tone and this is a little too bright for you, then you probably want to go in or choose Possibilities. And it does have a little bit of that pearl. It's hard to tell, but I do like the finish it has on the skin. Again, it does have a blurring quality about it. It doesn't look dry on the application. So nice texture from the blush, and I can only imagine the bronzers will feel in a similar way. The eyeshadow was a little bit of a learning curve, especially with this softer shimmer formula. It's not like a sticky shimmer, right? So you have to make sure that maybe you apply a primer again if you went in with mattes first, or you lightly tap across the lid with finger or blush to ensure a more even lay down of that texture. Because once it settles, it's quite pretty. Because now I have a really pretty glowy moment here on the lid from that shimmer shade, but this metallic formula is fantastic, especially again, once you let it sit and settle on the lid, there's some really nice twinkle on there. The mattes are great. They're soft. They're easy to blend. They're on the powdery side, so if you need to kind of gauge your color intensity when going in first, tap off the brush, maybe not dip as hard in the pan so you can control that application. I like the liners a lot, both actually, the soft coal velvet as well as the Longwear. So I just have the Longwear here solo as a wing liner, and then I have the soft velvet on the first eye as more of a diffused moment. And I think the taupe will look beautiful on its own, right? On my easygoing days where I don't necessarily want to apply eyeshadow, but I'll just have that taupe across the lash line for some definition, but not as bold as maybe like an espresso brown would deliver. And having the Longwear on top of the soft velvet, I think, is a great opportunity to create that gradient along the lash line without it looking crazy heavy, and just diffusing it so it has like that softened edge on the lash line that definitely gives a little more volume to your lash band if you're wearing falsies, or will just give you a little more of a luminous base if applying mascara. And I do love the lip liner in Perfect the Edge. This is a great color to kind of influence, for instance, Wild Rose. If I felt it was like a little too pink solo, the more brown color from Perfect the Edge, I think, helps to kind of balance out the brightness a little bit, because I got a lot going on here with the orange blush and the orange eyes, right? We're going a little monochromatic, but having Perfect the Edge, I think, just bring that rose brightness down, just so that it can kind of look cohesive with everything. And as I suspected, Creamy Matte is an appropriate name for this lipstick because it doesn't have shine, although it might appear like it will leave behind shine based on the swatch and on the application. Yes, creamy when it goes on, but there's no shine, and it does feel like a matte when I press my lips together. And when I see the lip, it might not have the same matte finish as like an ABH lip velvet does, or even the Byredo the liquid lip matte, right? I'm just thinking about those formulas. This is an interesting hybrid. Creamy matte. Well done, Hung. Possibilities is growing on me. It is. I'm thinking the possibilities of combining this with like oud. That's gonna be the ultimate harvest look. Are you with me, friends? We need to plan out a harvest makeup look using possibilities, because this is a great shade. This is a great shade. Once I find, oh yeah, again, it might look a little too orange because the foundation I have on is a little too warm for me. So if I apply this with like the Prada Beauty MN60, I think that'll be a better match. Or even Givenchy's Glow Serum, that even it has a little golden undertone in there, is not quite as warm as the Tom Ford. I think it'll be a better base for this color. so that it doesn't look so tangerine, but it has more of like an earthy orange glow or look to the cheeks. And of course, family, I'll be happy to come back on here if you wanted to see a specific palette in action, but I could hold back and maybe give away the ones I know I'm not going to use extensively, because I would hate to use it and then give it away when I could have just not used it and gifted nude to someone else. So let me know what you think about that. I'm definitely going to keep the orange one because I used it. Wonderful Warm, the neutral, of course. You have the Composed Cool, the blue, the purple, the green, and the Rebellious Reds. Rebellious Reds I might do a video on because I do like that color story a lot, but we could discuss down below. But hopefully this kind of helped in you forming an opinion, or maybe helping putting your wish list together if Hung Vanngo Beauty was on your radar for the September 8th release. I would love to know what you think down below, and thank you again to the Hung Vanngo Beauty team and also to the Rephr team for recommending my videos to the brand. And if you made it this far, make sure you like this video by clicking the thumbs up. It helps me tremendously in letting the YouTube algorithm know that I'm worth watching, and will also recommend my videos for other beauty enthusiasts like yourself to watch. And consider subscribing, because if you want to see more of Hung Vanngo in action, I'll be more than happy to come back on here and show the other lipsticks and maybe the other palettes. Again, we'll discuss that down below, and you'll know when those uploads drop, especially if you click that notification bell. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for taking the time once again. If it's your first time visiting, well, welcome. Peruse the channel some more. Maybe I'll see you in this video here. I'll definitely see you down in the comments for this one. And on here again next time.